Hey YouTube land, Tyke sir, coming back with more action figure reviews, and today we're having a look at another of the deluxe, ooh, he nearly went tumbling, another of the deluxe Turtles of Grayskull figures, and this time it is the evil mutant from, or not mutant, the evil creature from Dimension X as Krang, known as Krang, and it is him in a robot body like he was in the cartoons, but it is a unique robot body. But we'll have a quick look at his packaging. So this is how they are packed. He is deluxe, so they're in the box style packaging. The standard figures are in the kind of same bubble that the Masters of the Universe Origins come in. You have the Turtles of Grayskull and the name of the character, and you have images of him up here in the top. Flipping around to the back of the box, you have a really cool image of Raphael taking on Krang within his robot body. And up, actually, I'm not sure if you can see that. If I bring that up, if you see up the top, you have Snake Mountain, which is the playset version of Snake Mountain, as opposed to the actual cartoon version of Snake Mountain in the background. And you have Krang battling Raphael. Out of all the turtles at the moment, I don't have either Raphael, because he's actually released, but he's the one that I don't have. And then Michelangelo, who hasn't been released yet, has been announced and will be coming hopefully later this year. And this whole line is really, really cool. Now, I got this guy from Smith's in Germany. I'll just quickly go on about it, because I did go on about it in the previous video for Slacker, if you watched that. Smith's Germany have this guy and nearly the whole first wave and all the deluxes, including Mousejaw, for sale in the European market in Smith's Germany. Unfortunately, Smith's do not let the other European stores ship to European countries, which is kind of annoying, because they do have a click and collect option, or they have a click and collect option on their site, and they also have a ship option on their site for stuff that's in stock. Oh, most of the time for stuff that's in stock, but you know, it's hit and miss. If they had set up their sites properly, it would have been nice to have a kind of combined shipping option, where you could ask, get it shipped from either European country. If you can't get it within the Irish market, get it shipped from, say, Germany or Sweden or Switzerland, one of those Smith stores, and get them shipped to you in Ireland. That would be perfect, because it would be nice, but I think it's probably just too much of a logistics issue for them to actually be able to handle. So we'll get on to Krang. So he comes with a couple of accessories, most notably Krang himself. The main figure himself is a kind of generic robot. Well, it's not a generic robot, it's based on Megator, but he has a kind of generic Masters of the Universe body, and all the stuff that's added to him is in the accessories. He does come with a card. Now, I'm not sure if the European cards, these are the European cards, but I'm not sure if these are the same as the US cards. I believe the US ones have a write-up, a small write-up, because the one from Mousejaw, I believe, had a bit of a write-up for him about how he was mutated by Krang. He was the first mutant that was mutated by Krang and Shredder, Trapjaw, to test it out, and he became Mousejaw. Unfortunately, there's a write-up on his box, I believe. Is there? Yeah, so if I'm bringing back in Krang's box again, sorry for this. So if on the bottom of his box, it has a write-up. Unbeknownst to him, Trapjaw was first of Krang's ooze experiments. For bringing Krang's box, there's nothing. It's just the artwork. So I believe that is the same going forward for all the European releases. They don't have any write-up. I think his card, because Mousejaw did come with a card, but I didn't have it on hand at time when I was doing a review for him. And I think that card has the same write-up, or a small bit of that write-up, about him being the first of Krang's experiments. And Krang himself is here. So now I will stress, when I first got this out of the box, I did have an issue. And that issue is with this right hand. When I was trying to swap it out, because as you can see, He has his weapon accessories. He can hold his axe like a normal axe, which is the way I have it, and it's kind of shown on the box cover. Unfortunately, the hands are reversed. He's holding it in his left hand, and this mace hand is on his right. When I pulled this guy out of the box and tried to swap out his hand, because you can see the hand is just on a small peg, this peg piece popped out of the hand as opposed to out of the wrist. There's kind of like a bar that goes between it to give it the hinge. That snapped on me. I was able to get it back in, but it's not the strongest, so I'm assuming if I try to pull this off again without heating it, because I'm not going to do it on screen, but if I do that, try and pull it out of the wrist socket again, it will pop off. So I won't be swapping out his axe hand, and it's the same with this. I have it in, but I'm wary about pulling on this because you could snap this chain easily enough. And you really need to heat this up before you swap it back out again. So I'm just going to leave it as is for the duration of this review. But he does retain all the standard articulation of the Motu figures. In fact, I didn't go through the articulation on the Slash figure, or Slacker figure. But his head is on a ball joint. His arms can go up that much. Can rotate all the way around. You just have to move his mace out of the way because it's on a chain. He has that single joint elbow with a swivel. He has double waist swivel because he has a small bit of a waist swivel up here where the Krang piece connects in. Then he has a better waist swivel down below. And then he has the legs that can move forward. He has single jointed knees. He has the boot cut and rocker ankles, which has a forward and back on them. He has peg holes, and he is pretty darn big. Once you have all him set up with his mace and all his gear and the Krang addition to him, he does come in. I can just bring my tape measure in without knocking everything. He does stand nearly around 8 inches in height, which is quite tall. Now, the Krang is removable. It is a separate piece, so it is a little kind of, it's not really a gummy figure like some of the previous ones. It has some pliability to it. His tentacles are a bit more gummy than the main body part, but the way it is, it sits in. There's a big indent, so it sits into the body like that, and you're best off putting it through these bars on the front first, because there's two kind of bars on either side of this. You slip his tentacle in and then kind of close them in, and there's a little clasp on the side so it clips them into place. So you do have that. You can have this guy just looking like a Megator with a weird android head if you want to, by just removing this body piece. It should just pop straight out. So, oh, and this trunk part is actually a separate piece because it's based on the wrestling bodies, so he has wrestling trunks on technically, but this is the way he comes in the box. So his body piece isn't actually attached. But if you wanted him just looking like a big weird Megator-ish looking guy with this weird Krang style head, you can do that, and then just pop him back in. So there's a peg for the bottom part of the peg and the top, and you just click him into place. Now, even though this guy is a deluxe figure, he doesn't come with any of the parts for the Metal Roboto. In fact, the only deluxes so far that have come with parts for Metal Roboto is, Slacker came with parts and Mouse Jaw came with parts. The other two deluxes so far haven't come with parts, so Krang here doesn't come with them, and the Mossman figure doesn't come, or mutated Mossman doesn't come with them. But I will get into mutated Mossman in the next review. If you're watching this in sequence, I will hopefully have them up in sequence. But so far, this is how these guys are going. So just to bring in a basic one of the turtles of Grayskull, we'll bring in Leo, so you can see the height. We'll bring in Krang's body shredder with his, build me a body shredder. So we have that. So we have Krang, Shredder, and Leo from the same line. And because he's the only... Actually, no, I'll bring in Clawful. He's not the only one. We'll bring in an actual standard-ish Masters of the Universe figure so you can see how they look together. Here is Clawful next to his, well, I wouldn't say counterparts, but his similar designed characters. There is no Clawful version crossover, thankfully. He would have been made of kind of cool, interesting mutant crossover. I wonder what they would do if they had gone with it. Clawful as one of the guys. So far, the mutants, or the Masters of the Universe villains that have been mutated and crossed over, is Mousejaw, Too Bad, technically. Beastman didn't get mutated. This is really, actually, there is others who's coming along. Actually, I think most of the other guys are just general characters from the good guys line being mutated. But overall, these guys are pretty cool. Krang is a really good figure, and he is a pretty big one for shelf space. So if you're stuck for shelf space, at least you can drop him down a bit. But if you drop him down, he's still quite tall. He's in around the 6-inch mark. But you do have that option, but he looks really, really cool. And I love the spiked mace thing that he comes with. Most of the time, they only do the chain as a solid chain and have it stuck in like a whip look pose. But for this, they went all out and gave him a proper link chain, which just looks so good. And this thing on the front, it's kind of gummy, but it's also kind of sharp enough, so it does look like it would do some damage to you if you were smacking it around the place. But overall, he is pretty cool. So there you go, guys. There's a quick review for Krang from the Turtles of Grayskull line. Hopefully my next review will be Mossman if I'm putting them up in sequence. I do have a few other bits and pieces that I want to review in between as well, but hopefully I'll put everything in sequence and then we'll start with other stuff. So as I say, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoy your day, and thanks for watching this video and listening to me waffle on about turtles. Well, Krang from the Turtles. So thanks again, and enjoy your day.